8:35 now. Secretary of State Marco Rubio is in Mexico this morning for talks with President Claudia Sheinbaum on cartels, immigration, and tariffs. For months, President Sheinbaum has been managing Mexico's relationship with the United States while working to clear corruption in her own country. Just last week in a New York City courtroom, Mexican drug kingpin known as El Mayo said he'd operated freely inside Mexico for years by bribing politicians, the police, and the military. Let's get some more insight into what could come from today's one-on-one meeting by turning to Rafael Fernández de Castro, director of the Center for U.S. Mexican Studies at UC San Diego. Thanks for being with us.
Happy to be with you.
Very good. Mexico was under intense pressure here from the White House to do more to root out corruption. President Sheinbaum has signaled she will work with President Trump but not take orders from him. What sort of balancing act do you expect to see from her today?
Well, ideally, they will get an agreement, a security agreement. Mexico and the U.S., we both need a more secure border. So that's what we're looking for. We need safe and orderly migration flows. And of course, we need no drugs coming in to the U.S. from Mexico and hopefully no arms coming from the U.S. into Mexico. So it's a very important visit, that of Marco Rubio, the Secretary of State. In a few minutes, he will meet Claudia Sheinbaum in the National Palace. And I hope they could come with an agreement, because today is either about cooperation or about the U.S. going unilaterally and show force in Mexico. And I don't think it worked well. So I'm glad that Marco Rubio is there. This is his first visit to Claudia Sheinbaum. He's been at State Department for the last 7 months, and finally he's in Mexico. Not an easy solution, but I hope they will find, I will say, a bilateral solution to try to solve this very difficult issue of drugs coming into the U.S.
Before today, President Trump has deployed thousands of troops to the southern border, asked the Pentagon to explore military operations against cartels he's designated as terrorist organizations. What do you expect the tone of today's meeting to be?
Well, Marco Rubio is the head of the U.S. diplomacy. I believe there's going to be a cordial tone, but not an easy one. There's urgency in the U.S. to stop the flow of fentanyl coming into the U.S. from Mexico. There's been a lot of problems because of that in the U.S. For many years, Andrés Manuel López Obrador, Claudia Sheinbaum predecessor, he kept on saying, we don't produce fentanyl in Mexico. That was a lie. Well, Sheinbaum is trying hard, and she has been very good in helping the U.S. to deter migrants in transit. There's very few migrants coming into the U.S. Now it's about drugs, and I'm positive about this. I'm glad Marco Rubio is in Mexico City. Then he's going to Ecuador. So he's talking. I mean, we have to have these dialogues, and I'm glad that he's taking the time to come and visit Sheinbaum and understand what Mexico is trying to do, because Sheinbaum already changed the strategy, and she's going very tough. She's going very tough against organized crime in Mexico, and there's some results out there, not enough yet, but I hope that the U.S. and Mexico could put their act together.
UC San Diego, about an hour north of the border with Mexico. I think if you ask most people in our state, they'd say the focus should be immigration. Fentanyl is going to factor largely into these talks. Which issue do you think might eclipse the other?
Well, I believe we almost solved the migration issue. There's almost zero migrants coming into the U.S.-Mexico border. So now it's really about fentanyl. And for Mexico, it's also about arms. There's a lot of smuggling of U.S. arms into Mexico. So we badly need to have a more secure border. And to do that, we need cooperation between the U.S. and Mexico. It's not about the U.S. doing what it should do. It's about cooperating with Mexico and coordinating with its southern neighbor.
All right. We'll have to leave the discussion here. It's a long one. We just got to kind of take a small bite out of it. Thank you so much for joining us, Rafael Fernández de Castro. Of course, good to talk with you there at UC San Diego. Thanks again.